Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you my experience with the Leverage Your Art course, which is run every year by American artist Stacy Bloomfield. This is my personal experience, and if by the end of this video you are interested in enrolling into the autumn course, then I have an affiliate link for you in the description below. First of all, what is Leverage Your Art? Leverage Your Art is an 8-week-long intensive art business course that teaches you everything you need to know to start an art licensing and art product business. The course is very intensive, has 6 modules and 2 implementation weeks. It is run by artist Stacy Bloomfield, who is the owner of Gingerbread. If you are on social media, you might have come across her adverts. She does not only license her own art very successfully, but also runs her own product-based company and employs a team that helps her to run her 7-figure business. One of her specialties is her tea towel subscription club. The first time I came across her education website was last year when I joined one of her free courses called The Artist's Side Hustle. It was a good introduction into her enthusiastic teaching style, and I got a few takeaways from it. By the end of the free course, she advertised Leverage Your Art. I thought it was expensive, I wasn't ready to part with that amount of money, and so I parked the idea. However, then I got interested in creating art for products and art licensing. I also started following various pattern designers such as Bonnie Christine and played with the idea of taking her immersion course. Her course teaches you the ins and outs of surface pattern design and also aspects of running an art business. It's as expensive as Leverage Your Art and has a big following. However, after a lot of thinking, I decided against it. My main reason was that some of the things she teaches are also available on Skillshare, and more crucially, I don't want to subscribe to Adobe Illustrator, and in her course she teaches how to design patterns with Illustrator. During my research, I stumbled also across designers such as Liz Kohler-Brown, who create their designs with Affinity and Procreate. You only pay for both applications once, and they are yours. No subscription needed. While Procreate is pixel-based and therefore has its limits, Affinity Designer is vector-based. After that decision, I saved up for my refurbished iPad Pro so I could learn how to use Procreate. I also ended up buying the Affinity Suite, which works on Mac, Windows, and there's also an iPad version. This year I ended up doing another free course by Stacy, and because I had a few students this year, I had money saved to invest in my education. It took me a long time to decide, and I enrolled on the very last day and when I had some important questions answered. Those were: will the course be useful to people who don't live in the US? The other question was: do you need to know how to use Adobe Illustrator? And are the templates Stacy provides made with Illustrator? One of her lovely team members, who was also one of the community guides, answered my questions in a personalized video message. She reassured me that most of the content is applicable wherever you live, with the exception of copyright. Illustrator wasn't necessary, and the templates are provided in Canva, which can also be used as the free version. First off, this year is the first year Stacy has created this beautiful welcome box, which I had to hide from my kittens, especially Lucy, as she loves to chew on cardboard. The welcome box came with a printed version of the workbook. You can also download each module individually. This box went to every student, even to those like me who live outside the US. Some people might think this is just a gimmick, however, I thought this was a lovely touch. The pack included the following: a cardboard hat for graduation that didn't fit my head very well, a small affirmations pad, a coin with the 2 mottos of the course: slow growth is good growth, and I will not let overwhelm steal my joy. It also had a ballpoint pen, a wet erase marker, a welcome message, a getting started guide, a sketchbook, an income stream guide, a journey map, and this beautiful tea towel, which currently hangs on my wall in the workroom. The box also had 8 envelopes, 6 for the modules, 1 welcome envelope which is also module 0, and a graduation envelope. And of course this fat workbook with lots of space to jot down thoughts, ideas and action points. The welcome envelope included the following: a poster you can use as a vision board, and the front says visualize the life you want to have. It also contains the syllabus in a handy booklet, a guide that explains how the course and the community works. Stacy is using an app called Mighty Networks for this course, and it has proven to be quite a stable app that doesn't crash. Her course is hosted on Kajabi, but their own phone app tends to crash and is very slow. The envelope also had a pledge card which says, "I won't let overwhelm steal my joy." It also had a welcome card with action steps, an art licensing glossary, and an introduction leaflet for the community. The welcome module has 16 short to medium length lessons, including downloads and extra lessons about how to create a vision board. I found the lessons about how to deal with imposter syndrome and avoiding overwhelm useful. All of her lessons are available as a downloadable audio file, and she also provides downloadable transcripts of all lessons. I found this useful as it means you can also reread the lessons and don't have to watch the videos. I like to read things and make notes, so I ended up cutting and pasting the transcripts into Word and saved them to my own module library I created for the course. Stacy also provides a few practical lessons, 3 of which show how she uses Illustrator to vectorize a hand drawing, a font, and how she creates a repeat pattern. As I don't have Illustrator, I didn't find these of use, but watched them anyway, as I suspect I will find similarities with Affinity Designer. She also shows you how she scans her artwork and how you can turn your own handwriting into a font. This is something I've actually tried. It took me a few attempts, but now I have a couple of my own fonts I can use. The welcome module dropped 2 weeks before module 1, which gave us time to get through the content and join in with the community. Module 1 is all about your style and your story. This was the content of the envelope: a card with an overview and action steps to tick off, a card about the design briefs which will help building mini collections, a magnet with 10 truths, a cute sticker with a giraffe. This refers to the big yellow giraffe method she teaches, and the design brief and a magnetic puzzle piece. The module has 14 lessons, 2 interviews, and includes the first of 6 design briefs. The design briefs were one of my favorite parts, even though I didn't quite finish them. They are a lovely practical element which gives you a clear idea of how it works when you get a brief from a client. The brief for this module was to design kids' pajamas with the theme of adventure. As I haven't learned yet how to create repeat patterns, my PJ bottoms don't look quite right. But I gave it a try. Here are my designs. The first one is made with watercolor and the second one with gouache. The module goes into detail on the importance of developing your signature style and voice and helps you with creating your own signature style guide. This was a useful exercise as I realized that I need to produce more art on a regular basis. The module also teaches you how to figure out your target audience. If you have done other business courses, you will be familiar with the concept of an ideal customer. Other aspects covered in this module are social media planning, and why hand lettering is so useful as a marketable art. Module 2 was all about building your brand. The envelope contained an overview and action points card, a template you can adapt to write your own brand story, a copyright decision tree guide, another puzzle piece, an action steps card for the implementation week, and a second design brief which continued with the Kids Adventure theme, but this time we had to create a growth chart. The module was packed with lots of information, with 16 lessons and an expert interview with a lawyer who specializes in intellectual property for artists. The first 8 lessons concentrate on brand building and growing your email list. For some people this was completely new. I already have a tiny email list and a website. However, I found this lesson very useful and took a lot of new ideas from it. As a few takeaways, I have changed my welcome email, created a short brand story for myself and plan to create a new logo. This is a module I will go back to a few times. The second half of the module is all about how to protect your art and register your work to protect your copyright. These are very US focused lessons and copyright works a bit different over here. I live in the UK and you are not obliged to register your copyright, though there are options I will look into when I feel the need. As I am in the early stages of my art journey, this is not my priority. However, these lessons are very important. Stacy shares her own experience with having her own art copied and how she dealt with it. It's quite an eye-opener. I worked on my design brief much later at the end of the course, but I thought I'd share it with you. Creating the wall chart was a big challenge due to the measurements. In the end, I painted each element in watercolor, scanned it all, removed the background and imported it into Procreate. Adding the measurements was tricky and the community was super helpful when I asked about what measurements to include. I don't have kids, so I haven't got the foggiest. I'm actually really proud of my achievement. It involved a lot of problem solving. Module 3 is all about 5 ways to share your work. The envelope for this module included a card with an overview and action points, portfolio checklist, an example of a tear sheet, Gingerber's own brand book, the third design brief, and another puzzle piece. This module is packed with information. It has 21 lessons in total plus 2 expert interviews. And it also has a lot of practical advice. This is also the module I will have to revisit a few times, as this is best for artists who already have a lot of art that would work well on products. Stacy teaches you how to create a pitch-perfect portfolio, organize and unify your existing work, and fill in gaps in your portfolio. These are useful lessons even if you are not there yet, because it helps you to work towards a unified body of artwork. She also shows you her own SKU system and how she leverages her own illustrations for making complementary work. She also shows you how to create tear sheets, portfolios, decks, and the brand lookbook. The portfolio lesson uses Squarespace as a platform. Finally, she also teaches you how to find an agent and how to review and understand contracts. The brief for this lesson was to create a kids' adventure rug. These are my 2 versions, both made with watercolor. Module 4 was all about licensing foundations and workflows. This module goes into the nitty-gritty of art licensing. It has 20 lessons, 2 interviews, and a pricing calculator. Stacy teaches you how to research licensing partners, how to pitch and organize your pitches, how to deal with a no, how to create workflows, and how to price your work. This module is super interesting and something I will get back to. In the workbook there is a big list of companies who license art. One of the interviews is with Louise Lockhart, who is an artist from the UK, which I found very interesting to listen to. The design brief number 4 was to create 3 stickers for an eco-friendly coffee shop. These are my designs which I created in Procreate. Painting digitally is completely new to me and a big learning curve. The envelope contained an overview and action steps card, a pitch email checklist, a link to the pricing calculator, the boomerang technique card, implementation week action points, and the design brief and another puzzle piece. Module 5 is all about leveraging your art on products. This module is divided into 2 sections. The first part teaches you how to get started with art for products and is made up of 6 lessons. Here Stacy talks about brand and how to find the right audience for your product and developing the right product for your audience and how to launch and scale it. The second part, leverage your art on products, goes into deep. Here she teaches things such as how to develop a product-based business, how to manufacture products. She even lists the companies that Gingerbread uses in the workbook. She also talks about how to wholesale products, working with sale reps and getting products into shops. Then she also talks about scaling your business and eventually employing people. One lesson also includes how to set up a drop-shipped printful product in Shopify. The modules include 2 interviews and the 5th design brief continues with a coffee shop theme. But this time we had to design a wall mural or wallpaper repeat, and as I haven't learned yet how to create repeat patterns, I haven't done this brief. The items in the envelope were similar to the last one. Module 6 is all about leveraging your art across multiple revenue streams. In the final module, Stacy talks you through different revenue streams you can add to your art business. These include things like custom work, craft fairs, developing a signature product, creating complementary products for a fabric line, workshops, embroidery patterns and products, drop shipping, and print on demand and offering online services. There are 16 lessons in total, plus an interview with an artist about wholesaling products. A guest lesson about dropshipping using spoonflower was also included. The final design brief still used the coffee shop as its theme, and here we were asked to design packaging for a bag of roasted beans. I haven't finished this design brief. As this is the final module, it includes a lesson on how to plan your year, and Stacy encourages you to create your 3 big goals. These depend on where you are right now in the business. The envelope included a wipeable sheet on which you can write your 3 goals with a pen provided in the box. So here are my goals. 1. Learn how to use Procreate and Affinity Designer and learn how to create surface and repeat patterns while still painting with traditional art supplies. 2. Build up a portfolio by making art that works well for products in the categories animals, holidays, florals and lettering. And 3. Start getting art on products by using print-on-demand sites or manufacture. At the end of the course we were invited to a final Zoom call to celebrate our graduation and used our hats. I actually struggled to keep the hat on, but at least I managed to take part in that call. This course is a very intensive course and 8 weeks is definitely not long enough to implement everything. However, it's not meant to be implemented in this time frame. The course is well structured and the modules build up on each other. Because it is a lot of information to take in, the modules are drip-fed every week. Therefore, Stacy's motto, "Don't let overwhelm steal your joy," is quite fitting. After the first 2 modules in Module 3 and 4, we had an implementation week. This week was designed to give us time to watch the modules start putting things into action, ask questions in Stacy's weekly Q&As, and participate in the community. The community was great, and I made as much use of it by asking questions and commenting on other people's posts. The community guides were lovely and helpful. One thing I couldn't try out were the mindset reset calls that were run by community guide Fias Joini. This is because the calls were on Wednesdays and I work on Wednesdays in my part-time job. When I had time off and tried to take part, Windows decided to put lots of updates on my laptop. However, the students who did take part found those sessions very useful. What struck me about Leverage Your Art was how well structured, well presented and professional this course looks. A lot of love and care went into the content and presentation. Stacy is a very well-spoken and enthusiastic and positive person. You could tell that she takes her time to prepare for the live calls. You could ask questions in the community directed at Stacy, and she would pick the ones she could answer in an hour-long call. I mostly just watched the replays, which also had transcripts. If she couldn't provide an answer because of too many questions, you could tag the community guides to help. Only a few lessons involved her using Illustrator, and the copyright lessons were more focused on the US, but the UK students, and there were quite a few, could quickly find out what was relevant for the UK. What I mostly struggled with was actually finding the time to get through the modules due to the fact that I not only have a part-time job but was at the time teaching several students. I managed to watch all the lessons and made notes. Some modules are useful in the future when I'm actually thinking of pitching, and I still have to go through the bonus lessons and interviews. There's just so much content. The course gave me more clarity and I will keep going back to the modules. I thought that the design briefs were a nice practical exercise and gave us a good idea of what to expect when working with a company. In summary, I recommend this course to artists who are serious about building an art business with a focus on art licensing and getting art on products. However, it will be an advantage if you already understand how pattern design works and have built up a body of work that you can use to sell on products. Just a side note, when you enroll into the autumn course, you will probably have different bonuses and the content itself might change slightly. The box will only be sent out to the first 350 students who enroll early, but every student will get the printed workbook. If you think this course is for you, please check out my affiliate link in the description and comment. I hope you liked this video. If you have a question about the course, please feel free to leave a comment and I try my best to answer it. And if you want to support my channel, you can do so by liking, sharing and subscribing. You can also donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Happy painting. Until next time.